Good evening and thank you for watching Times News with me, Chawes Banda. First, the headlines. Government lifts more COVID-19 restriction measures. Frustrated community members in KENYATTA district embark on a 6-kilometer road grading project to connect the health center area to the main road. And in our special report, Thomas Kacheri takes a look at how poor waste management is destroying the environment. We have these and other stories. Do stay with us. Now, the news in detail. Government has lifted more COVID-19 restriction measures as the pandemic is now at level 1 in the country. Co-chairperson of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Kandodo Chiponda, who is also Minister of Health, said this on Friday that Malawi can now receive visitors from any country. Rebecca Jimjeka has compiled this report, read by Fale Banda.
Minister of Health Kandodo Chiponda said the number of people getting admitted to hospitals and dying of COVID-19 has decreased. Chiponda said Malawi is now at level 1 of COVID-19, which means that many restrictive measures can now be eased.
It has shown that now we are at level 1. So basically it seems it is looking much better, and indeed even the numbers, they are also talking to the same in terms of positivity rate and also in terms of number of people being admitted.
Health activist Maziko Matemba said although COVID-19 figures have dropped, people need to be encouraged to go and receive vaccination. The Presidential Task Force, however, warned the wearing of masks in public places remains mandatory.
Some nurses in the country have expressed dissatisfaction with the sentence by Senior Magistrate Court to a mother and daughter who were convicted for assaulting a nurse while on duty at Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital in Blantyre. Some Senior Resident Magistrate Akia Manyongo has suspended the 14-month jail sentence handed to the mother and her daughter, but ordered them to pay a 100,000 kwacha fine, respectively. Jameson Chauluka reports.
Esnati Sedemani, 53, and her daughter Yanko Sedemani, 30, were convicted of assaulting Gertrude Mofati in the line of duty at the hospital when she asked the two to leave the ward in order to reduce congestion as one way of preventing the spread of COVID. The state submitted to the court that the incident traumatized the nurse and that other people would not want to become nurses in future. Moffat herself told the court that she's still afraid to engage patients and their guardians, fearing for the repeat of what she experienced. National Organization of Nurses and Midwives Legal Counsel Mawia Msuku acknowledged the nurses' dissatisfaction but said what is important is that a big statement has been made regarding protection of health workers. Defense lawyer Roger Sinkombeza said he was satisfied with the judgment because it is what he asked for. Out of the fines, which total 200,000 kwacha, 150,000 kwacha goes to Malawi government, while the other 50,000 kwacha goes to the complainant.
After being frustrated by podium promises from their political leaders, community members around Chilambwe Health Center in KENYATTA district have embarked on a 6-kilometer road grading project from the health facility to the main road at Sanga Trading Center. This is in the area of Traditional Authority Mankambira in the district. The project comes as a result of a poor condition of the road, which worsens when it is time for rains. This leads to difficulty in accessing the facility. Sam Kalimira files this report.
According to the community members, some expectant women have been giving birth at home or on their way to the health center due to the road challenge. Similarly, access to sexual reproductive health services has also become problematic among the youth. Group Village Headman Kashibaba said communities have lost hope from their political leaders, hence contributing about 2.6 million kwacha for the road project. Estimates indicate that the whole project requires 38 million kwacha.
The road is very poor, was very poor, I should say. So our community sat down. Usually when the patients were referred to Katabe Hospital. We are finding difficulties passing through the rough road and the muddy sometimes when the rain is raining. So we decided to sit down and to take part.
National Coordinator for Chilambwe Development Trust, Benedicto Manda, blamed political leaders for showing no commitment to improve the welfare of their constituents, mainly expectant women and their youth. One of the health workers at Chilambwe Health Center, Zakea Tsonga, held the committee members for the road project.
There are complications that arise when the clients are coming to seek assistance from the hospital. Most of the times they do come carrying a baby. They have delivered on the way. They come with the baby to the facilities due to long distance.
In a telephone interview, Member of Parliament for Nkarabe North East constituency, Noah Chimpeni, considered about the problem but said plans for the rehabilitation of the road are already there. Chilambwe Health Center has a catchment area of about 14,000 people.
And in our special report, Thomas Kachere is taking a look at how poor waste management is destroying the environment. This comes despite several interventions aimed at changing citizens' mindset on the matter in the country.
Instead of being subjected to a snaky noise emanating from the cool breeze blowing over the waters create, flies disturb the flow of the snaky sounds. Welcome to Moody catchment area in Blantyre's most populous township of Ndirande, which is supposed to be the source of clean water institutions such as Blantyre Water Board tap from timeless supply to residents. However, BWB should as well get ready to dig deeper into their coffers, as of late, some people seem to have discovered new ground for dumping waste. Moody catchment area. Heaps of waste have now become part of the environs, threatening water production by the water utility. At the heart of the risk is pollution, which unfortunately is becoming a common problem in townships, towns, municipalities and cities. Uncontrolled dumping of waste is one of the factors fueling the destruction of natural resources in the country. In cities such as Blantyre, it has become a tradition to dump waste in streams and along the roads without thinking about how the waste would eventually affect others downstream. Some of the items being thrown anyhow in Moody catchment area are disposable diapers, which are not easily biodegradable after the entry into the environment. The durable plastic they are made of become an eyesore, polluting the environment for a very long time. One of the challenges the diapers create is that when they are thrown around anyhow, they become feed for domesticated animals such as goats. At Moody, goats roam around freely, feeding on diapers and other forms of waste, and yet they are herbivores that are designed to munch grass. Whatever happens to the diapers inside the goat's digestive system, nobody knows. Apart from goats, waste is disrupting lives of many people, including women that rely on water for bathing and drinking. For example, I found one girl bathing in the river, apparently after she had washed her clothes.
I bath in this river every day because I do not have access to other water sources.
Another girl from Chuembe village said it was unfortunate that people have been dumping waste into streams despite knowing that others use the same water for domestic purposes elsewhere.
We wash our clothes in this river because water is scarce here. However, it is becoming difficult to wash clothes these days because items such as diapers float freely in the water, which exposes us to diseases.
Justin Temani, 26, who could not secure a white-collar job after failing to obtain a Malawi School Certificate of Education certificate, is now a full-time farmer. According to Temani, it could be better if every citizen take a responsibility in properly managing waste.
I grow vegetables and I sell my vegetables on an everyday basis. I water my vegetables using this stream. As you can see, the river is not good enough. The water is not good enough to be used. There are dead animal bodies, dead dogs, cats, but still more we use this river. We rely on this river to water our vegetables.
Center for Environmental Policy and Advocacy Executive Director Herbert Mwalukomu described poor waste management as a ticking bomb.
The fact that wastes are being thrown into these rivers, it means we are endangering human life, because these wastes carry with them a lot of disease-causing organisms, and so it is not healthy at all. Now, from an environmental point of view, it is also quite unfortunate that we should keep clogging these rivers with the waste that can otherwise be managed in a different way, because then it means we are affecting the flow of the water, and that eventually means that we are impacting the environment in which these rivers are supposed to be in.
In other countries, plastics, glass, metal and paper waste end up in recycling facilities. In Malawi, however, people seem to be turning rivers and other water bodies into recycling facilities, creating an undesirable situation. United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 13 urges countries to take action to combat climate change and its impacts.
That special report by Thomas Kachere. At least 3,000 hectares of trees have been lost to illegal harvesting and bushfires in CHIKANGAWA forest in the last 5 years. One of the concessionaries, Riply Malawi Limited, has disclosed that the forest is prone to deforestation due to, among other things, its closeness to the M1 road. Patience Lunda files this report.
This was disclosed on Thursday when Riply Malawi donated 1 million kwacha to Malawi Police Service towards their centenary celebrations. Riply Malawi Chief Executive Officer Krishna Das said police play a crucial role in protecting trees in the plantation, hence the gesture. Das took the opportunity to plead with security agencies and the judiciary to stamp stiff penalties to people found guilty of destroying and stealing forest products.
It is our plea with the security services in this country and the judicial sector that these cases are being properly dealt with, so that people who are engaging in illegal activities understand the consequences of doing so.
In his remarks, Northern Region Commissioner of Police Richard Ruhanga said police is committed to protecting the environment, adding the police post which was established in CHIKANGAWA was a deliberate strategy to enhance security in the forest reserve. Ruhanga added that private entities such as Riply are helping in the economic growth of the country, hence they also need a safer operating environment.
Large companies, they are the ones that support or influence the development of the country. Hence, they need to be protected, they need to be supported, they need to work in a secure environment, and the police is charged to provide that kind of environment.
Riply Malawi has a concession area of about 20,000 hectares in Vipya Plantation.
Expansion of the 6-lane Kenyatta Drive in Lilongwe has started with felling of over 1,300 natural trees valued at about 2 billion kwacha. Lilongwe City Council says at least 1,391 trees, which include 317 Mibawa trees, are earmarked for removal. But environmental activists have criticized the council for felling the trees, which they say have been there since independence in 1964. Rebecca Chimcheka has filed this report, read by Fale Banda.
Lilongwe City Council Chief Executive Officer John Chome says the city is expected to lose some of its trees, but was quick to ensure Lilongwe City dwellers that Mibawa trees will be used to make desks for the city's schools. Chome says at the moment there are a number of big road projects, and those are going to involve the loss of some biodiversity. But he says the city will replant the trees with additional varieties that will make the city beautiful in the next 10 years. A renowned environmental activist, Matthews Malata, is blaming the National Roads Authority for relaunching such a project without environmental assessment.
Our concern has been the timing of the consultations. I think is also something which we were not comfortable with, because this should have been done way before the project commenced, because we need to ask ourselves at which level of the project cycle we need to incorporate some of these environmental issues.
But Roads Authority Board Chairperson George Chingani says there is no way a reputable parastatal like Roads Authority would roll out a project without environmental impact assessment. Chingani says the current trees along Kenyatta Road have reached harvest time, having clocked over 50 years. President Lazarus Chakwera recently launched the expansion of Kenyatta Road.
Well, you're watching the Friday's Evening Bulletin here on Times Television. We'll be back shortly after this break.
Our Lady of Wisdom in Limbe will be celebrating 100 years of existence in Malawi. The celebrations will take place at the school's grounds from 9 a.m. on Saturday, 9th October 2021. Theme for the centenary celebrations is Thanking God for 100 years of educating and empowering the girl child. A special cloth and t-shirts are on sale at the school and in Lilongwe from Mrs. Stella Kuzemba on sale number 099-518-6610. The celebrations will start with a mass by the Archbishop Thomas Luke Msusa. Come one, come all.
Some call it the hustle, others call it the grind, others call it kupusha or kuzisaga. Whatever you call it, you will need passion, determination, the will, the zeal to overcome obstacles. You will need to believe, because the hustle is not easy. It requires effort and the right mindset. And when you feel like giving up, you will need someone to step up, to give you that push, to keep you going. At National Bank of Malawi, we believe that a young hustler's dream is bankable. That is why we are stepping up to help you step up your hustle. So rise, young entrepreneurs. This is your moment. Let us help turn your dreams into reality with Step Up Entrepreneur from National Bank of Malawi. Call 626 for more details. National Bank of Malawi, the bank of the nation.
Welcome back to the news. Continuing with the bulletin, Information Minister Gospel Kazako has stressed the need for Malawi to improve its digital economy by making the internet accessible to the citizens. He was speaking on Friday at Blantyre Secondary School, where he launched the Free Wi-Fi Zones initiative in the city. We have more in this report by Gary Samati.
Through collaborative efforts by TNM, Public-Private Partnership Commission, the World Bank, and the Ministry of Information, Malawians will have access to free internet connectivity in selected public places. Kazako on Friday visited Blantyre Secondary School and Blantyre Market, which are some of the free Wi-Fi zones. He says there are plans to have the free Wi-Fi zones in more areas across the country.
This government, what we want to do much more is to ensure that we create accessibility, we also create affordability, and we create presence. These are the tools that we're going to use to achieve the creation of the digital economy that we need. And you know, the leadership of this country is fully aware. President Lazarus McCarthy Chakwera is leading a team, is leading a government that is very, very fluent and aware of the need to make sure that our people are not lagging behind in as far as the issues to do with digital means are concerned.
Chief Executive Officer of PPPC, Patrick Kabambe, says the initiative is part of Digital Malawi, a project aimed at increasing access to digital tools for Malawians.
So the Public-Private Partnership Commission is an agent of Malawi government, and we are implementing this project called the Digital Malawi project. This is a project aimed at increasing access to digital tools and platforms for all Malawians.
Meanwhile, some vendors at Blantyre Market say making the area a free Wi-Fi zone has improved business operations, as some youth end up buying items as they spend more time at the market in order to use the internet.
World Food Program Country Director for Malawi, Marco Cavalcante, says the organization has empowered many Malawians to be resilient to natural disasters. Cavalcante was speaking during a dissemination conference of a climate resilience evaluation report in Lilongwe. He said from 2015 to 2020, the program has trained many Malawians under its Food Assistance for Asset program to be self-reliant, among other things. Emmanuel Simpokolwe has fired us this report, which is read by Fale Banda.
A World Food Program Climate Resilience Evaluation report shows that the program's 2015 to 2020 activities have helped communities to adapt to a changing climate and enabled them to break out of the cycle of hunger. The evaluation conducted by Information, Training and Development highlights that 95% of participating households reported increased crop production because of the climate-smart agriculture. The report further shows that 75% of the 128,000 households harvested more maize in 2020 compared to 43% in 2019.
We are, as WFP, we are here in support of the government of Malawi. The government of Malawi is taking the leadership through the Vision 2063, which we are really honored to support. So our role in the future is to continue to support the Vision 2063, follow the government lead, and continue invest in resilience throughout the country. Now, today is important because thanks to today's evidence, we can better plan tomorrow's program.
According to the report, 90% of the participants reported being better prepared to face natural disasters. World Food Program provides assistance using food or cash transfers to cover immediate food needs, while asset creation builds community resilience over time.
In international news, with the COVID-19 pandemic, South Africa has seen hunger increase nearly threefold, according to a national survey. One man is helping to tackle the problem by launching community farms to help feed inner city residents. Linda Givetash reports from Johannesburg.
Between flower beds, along roadsides, and on school fields, crops are springing up around South Africa's largest city. The idea of these so-called edible streets was spearheaded by Simbonga Nkandla and the non-profit Makers Valley Partnership to curb hunger and malnutrition. The need became ever more apparent as gardens were picked bare when lockdowns hit last year.
You could see that this household haven't had a meal in the past 2 days or so. Then definitely then others will open up their refrigerator for you, or others will open up their cupboard. You could see that there's literally nothing.
South Africa is a major producer and exporter of fresh food, but many in the country aren't able to fill their plates. A national survey led by South Africa's Research Council found that as many as 22% of the country's 60 million people experienced hunger since the pandemic struck. That's compared to just 6% pre-pandemic.
It's about inequalities and ineffective access to food in the different regions of the country. People not only lost their jobs, they didn't have access to food.
About 100 people benefit monthly from the food being produced on this urban farm. An open kitchen is also available to anyone in the community. This urban farmer says growing vegetables at home and in communities is one solution to secure nutritious food.
We've seen a lot of people coming here, wanting to harvest. Some, they don't have money. So we've seen a lot of people coming through and with the willingness of also working in the land because they see the results that they're gonna eat at the end of the day.
They're also teaching children how to grow vegetables and herbs, skills they can take home. With food prices having spiked nearly 7% this year, according to the government, these projects have become crucial to many.
If more people can be involved, in growing food, taking care of vacant land and try to make it in a food forest, then we can have more food, more people that we can feed.
Waiting for seeds to sprout is no quick fix. But with more funding, Makers Valley wants to plant more vegetable patches throughout the community to help put more greens on people's plates. Linda Giftash for VOA News, Johannesburg.
And in sports news, Flames' chances of reaching the next round of the 2022 World Cup qualifiers are hanging by a thread following a 3-0 loss to Ivory Coast at Orlando Stadium in South Africa on Friday. The defeat has reduced Malawi's chances in the campaign ahead of the reverse fixture in Benin on Monday. This means the Flames are still third in Group D with 3 points, 4 behind leaders Ivory Coast. Malawi started the campaign with a 2-0 loss to Cameroon but beat Mozambique 1-0 in the second match. Well, that's the news for now, but before we go, the headlines once again. Government lifts more COVID-19 restriction measures. Frustrated community members in KENYATTA district embark on a 6-kilometer road grading project to connect Chilambwe Health Center to the main road. And in our special report, Thomas Kachere takes a look at how poor waste management is destroying the environment. Remember, you can get more on these and other stories by visiting our website www.times.mw, liking our Facebook page Times 360 Malawi, subscribing to 1895 and following us on Twitter at Times 360 Malawi. Remember to wash your hands regularly, observe social and physical distance, mask up and get vaccinated to prevent COVID-19. Please do stay safe. You have been with me, Jawes Banda. Goodbye.
Join the marketplace for the free with no bank account entanglement. Unayo zonse mumu. Standard Bank. It can be.
If there's one thing that all soaps do, it's wash. From buckets to basins, bathrooms to streams, and everything in between.
All soaps wash.
Yes, but Protex is different. Its reinvented formula with flaxseed oil boosts your skin's natural anti-germ defenses by 10 times more, protecting you against 99.9% of germs. So what keeps us healthy?
Protex!
Good health starts here.
It's back. It's bigger. It's better. Pre-Mother's Day Gospel Concert featuring performances from Chico Grace, Apostle Chiteka Lewis, then